This is my homemade single shot bolt action 12 gauge. It's got an adjustable buttstock from a AR style rifle, but I do just have it screwed in place with a self-tapping screw right there. That's just to hold it there instead of going through the effort of taking a 1/2 inch piece of stock and making it adjustable. I just fit it to my length of pull preference and screwed it in place. This is a piece of 1 inch EMT, which is the exact same size as the ID of the buttstock for a commercial style AR stock. And this is a piece of 3/4 inch black iron pipe I made for a grip. This is a 3/4 inch piece of black iron, 36 inches long, for the barrel. And this is just some scrap tubing and whatnot I made for the receiver part. This is actually the recoil lug, which coincides with this block on the bolt face. So it's got a whole lot of surface, and that's welded around the lug itself to the bolt on both sides and then ground smooth so that it slides inside the receiver very well. And that's just a janky bolt handle I stuck in there. It's a piece of 3/4 inch steel. But it is a cock on loading bolt system, and this is actually made up like a Cricket 22 trigger with a falling pin. You see that pin in there with a sear engagement on it that actually falls down as you pull the trigger. And that's attached where that second hole is, right above that second hole, to the trigger itself. And that trigger is held together, or held on, with a spring in the front for the trigger spring. And I guess that also acts as the sear spring itself. And that's that tab sticking out the bottom is the trigger stop, so it doesn't over travel. Held on with one screw there. And this is actually screwed in place to the bottom of the receiver. I welded 2 studs to the bottom, and they're drilled and tapped 3/4, or not 3/4, 3/8/16. There's one in the bottom of the grip as well, but you can't see that. The screw is actually inside the grip. This is the bolt. That is the firing pin assembly, solid firing pin. And that little slot right there is the sear engagement surface. See, it moves back and forth. And this is a piece of 1/2 inch black iron pipe stuck into the back of this bolt itself, and that's pinned in place right there with a 1/8 inch pin, so you can take the whole bolt apart. Basically, function is that you slide this bolt into the receiver like so, and you do have to manipulate the trigger some, but it slides to about right there. You can feel it slide into the sear engagement surface, and then as you close the bolt, it actually pulls the springs back. It's a pain to do one-handed. This is a real pain to do one-handed. There it is. But you basically close that, and you can see the firing pin staying in place as you lock that in. And that is just closing against spring pressure. And you can see the locking lug itself is fairly substantial. That's going to hold all the pressure of this 12 gauge shell. And you can tell a little bit, but the bolt actually does go further into the receiver itself, so it holds all the pressure in the receiver. It's not the shell doesn't stick out the back of the receiver. into open space. And then pull the trigger. Feel the firing pin go forward. Anyway, it's just a quick little video. I don't have any video of me making this, but it's fairly simple. I had to work out some kinks with the trigger system, but after that, it works pretty good. I have fired this a couple times, and I mean, it's janky as hell, but if you want a cheap little bolt action 12 gauge, I mean, it works. It's fairly light for what it is, actually. I mean, really, it's just 3 pieces of pipe and a piece of EMT, so I mean, relative to a pump action, it's not heavy at all. But you also have a 36-inch barrel sticking out the front of this thing, so I mean, you would have a pretty good pattern. Anyway, it's just a quick video. If you got any questions, comment, and I'll answer them if I can get to them.